Time now, 6:43. It is Monday morning, friends, so let's kick off News to Go with a live look over downtown. Beautiful, beautiful shot as the sun rises. Speaking of sun rising sun. You are heading back to school today, so hopefully everybody up, heading. Maybe you're getting breakfast before heading to the bus stop, and we are not talking about rain to at least start the week.
That's right. So for all of you that are now preparing that maybe you have another week or 2 weeks left of summer vacation, at least you can get out to the pool today, Randy.
Today, tomorrow are really great days to be outside. You're going to notice the humidity gets a boost again by Wednesday because it is August, and it stays up through the weekend, and that will lead to, once again, dealing with daily rain chances because, you know, if you have an outdoor event, this time of year, chances are good. You know. You have to deal with it. Right. So next couple of days, though, feeling better. Mostly dry, low humidity today and Tuesday. It will get wet again by Wednesday. Though Wednesday's rain chances are kind of focused southeast of I-71 versus areas to the northwest. And then there will be some daily chances for rain through Saturday. So as far as impacts on your plans go, today, tomorrow, you're good. Wednesday, we'll have some scattered rain to the southeast, and Thursday, a couple of showers. But let's take a look at the radar right now. Everything is quiet. The humidity is down. And as we fast forward the futurecast to Wednesday morning, you'll notice some clouds around. And then once we get into kind of the warmer hours of the day, here's the I-71 corridor. You can see the focus of our scattered downpours on Wednesday generally going to be focused to the southeast of I-71. But with the humidity up, that means some scattered downpours that would linger, probably fading as the sun goes down. Now, as far as humidity goes, again, today and tomorrow, really comfortable. The muggy air is back by the middle of the week. So enjoy today. We start out low 60s. We make it up to about 80 or so this afternoon. Again, no rain expected until we get to Wednesday. So let's get over to Adam and see what's happening on the roads this Monday morning.
Yeah, so far mostly good out there, but we do have one issue further north up 75. Overall, though, looking pretty good down near Tylersville Road and also 70 north of 74. 71 also looking pretty good out there. Beautiful sunrise out there, but we do have one issue, as I mentioned, further up 75. It is an accident on both shoulders of 75 southbound. The actual accident is closer to a little bit north of Liberty Way. Near the Liberty Way, it's kind of halfway between Monroe Outlets and the Liberty Mall area. So be mindful if you are going through that area, causing some slowdowns. Otherwise, no other issues here within the 275 loop. Looking all good. We did have one car on the shoulder earlier, 75 near 74. Otherwise, we'll keep you updated with any other traffic troubles. Kelly?
Okay, Adam, thanks so much. We'll check back in. President Donald Trump telling reporters Sunday that negotiations with Iran will begin today. So it comes days after threatening massive strikes on the country if they do not make a deal. Our Washington correspondent, Rachel Hersheimer, joining us from our bureau this morning. So, Rachel, why is the president shifting his course of action again here?
Well, Kelly, good morning. President Trump said on Sunday that a plan was actually in place for the U.S. to carry out its biggest attack since World War II. But the president said that he decided to scrap that idea after speaking with Gulf leaders over the weekend. In the meantime, the president is still insisting Iran wants to make a deal.
They said, we'd like to make a deal. Now, you know, I don't know what they say because a lot of times they'll say that to me and then they'll go out and say, we don't know what he's talking about. Obviously, they don't want to be attacked. And they knew the extent of the attack because they saw it forming.
The president did not go into detail about who will be involved in talks with Iran that he says are set to resume this afternoon. The president reiterated the potential deal would include reopening the Strait of Hormuz, the narrow waterway that sees about 1/5 of the world's oil traffic, and resolve U.S. concerns about Iran's nuclear program. Now, Iran has repeatedly attacked ships traveling through the strait without its authorization. On Sunday, a spokesperson for Iran's foreign ministry said the strait will in no way return to the status it was before February 28th, which is when the war started. Now, a regional official also told the Associated Press the proposal that was announced by President Trump on Sunday halts attacks in the region, including by Iranian-backed militias in Iraq, and also ends the U.S. naval blockade on Iranian ports. In Washington, Rachel Hersheimer, WLWT News 5.
All right, Rachel, thank you. A tax on the money you earn from work is the focus of a contentious debate at Cincinnati public schools. So today, the school board will consider revoking the idea just 1 week after agreeing to it, and also with just 1 day left to make a final decision. This all has implications for your ballot this fall. And WLWT News 5's Nicole LaPonte live for us at CPS headquarters in Corryville. Nicole, what changed here?
Megan, good morning to you. This proposal, known as the Earned Income Tax Levy, has already faced pushback from 2 board members as it just passed last week. The big question this morning is if the board can agree on any levy to be on the ballot this fall. The district has already had to make staffing cuts to balance its budget this year. Inflation and a drop in state funding also playing a factor. It's been a decade since they asked for new money from taxpayers. The earned income tax would apply only to money you make through work and only if you live in the school district. But if the board decides to take back its approval, the other 2 options on the table are both property tax increases. Now, any levy would need to be approved by voters this fall. Now, if the board pulls back on this earned income tax levy and can't decide on a different path forward, there will not be a levy on the ballot. The board meets here at 5:30 p.m. Reporting live from CPS headquarters this morning, Nicole Aponte, WLWT News 5.
Well, thank you. Still no arrests this morning in 3 separate shootings from over the weekend. 5 people were shot in 2 neighborhoods. The first was in Westwood early Sunday morning, where 2 men were found shot just blocks apart. The first found shot in the stomach along McHenry Avenue, and then a short time later, a man called 911 saying he was shot in the back along Sunshine Avenue. Investigators have not confirmed if these 2 are connected, but both men are expected to survive. Several hours later, police responded to a shooting in South Cumminsville, where police tell us a shootout between 2 groups on Borden Street hit 2 women and a man who were hurt but now recovering. No suspect information has been released in any of those shootings. And preventing crime will be top of mind today as Cincinnati City Council Public Safety Committee meets for the first time in weeks, and members will consider changes aimed at cracking down on restaurants, bars, and nightclubs that are magnets for crime. The idea here is to expand ordinances that target so-called chronic nuisance properties. That's where criminal activity is reported frequently. The city would be able to issue fines to businesses that don't make any changes. And under the proposal, the time it takes to issue those fines would also be shortened. Right now, the rules only apply to multifamily housing, not the bars and restaurants. So if the idea moves forward, it would still need a vote from full council.
Breaking overnight, President Trump's anti-weaponization fund rescinded. Acting Attorney General Todd Blanche issued a formal order late last night to end the controversial project. This move should clear the way for Blanche's confirmation for Attorney General. It all comes after 2 Republican senators held up his nomination over the fund, demanding that Blanche put his commitment to end the program in writing. The anti-weaponization fund could have paid January 6th rioters and other Trump allies. A Senate committee will now vote to advance Blanche's nomination tomorrow.
As more large data centers are built, questions are growing about who should pay for the upgrade to electric grids so they can keep up. Ohio's consumer watchdog wants to make sure it's not you footing that bill. WLWT News 5's Giacomo Luca live here to explain. And Giacomo, this is something you've invested a lot of time into researching. Why is this discussion happening right now?
Kelly, a lot of reasons for that. Certainly a very complicated topic, but really to the bottom line, the Ohio Consumers Council says that data centers have just sparked a massive need for more power, so much so that PJM, that's the regional grid operator that covers Ohio, Kentucky, and Indiana, well, PJM needs $22 billion in upgrades to support more energy, largely driven by data centers. And the Ohio Consumers Council, they are concerned those costs could be passed on to, well, your electric bill. So let's first break down exactly what some of the charges are on your electric bill to kind of better understand this. You'll find on it usage, generation, and delivery. Well, the cost of upgrading and maintaining the power grid, that's included under delivery charges. That's as much as 15% of an Ohio electric bill, and that's why Ohio's Consumers Council wants federal regulators to step in. They say data center developers should pay for upgrades that they cause, not everyday customers. Now, federal regulators did last month require that the 6 regional operators across the country reform the way that they charge those large energy users, such as data centers. But both the OCC as well as lawmakers have concerns that won't happen soon enough. We're live this morning. Giacomo Luca, WLWT News 5.